Welcome to the Sunny Coast owned BNI podcast called the Referral Wave, Riding the Tide to Success. My name is Tony Cross and I'm a member of the BNI Business Sunrise chapter here on the coast with my business Drive Connect. Today, however, I'm the host of this great new local podcast and I'd like to welcome along Kaitlyn O'Leary from All Coast Tire and Mechanical, who is joining us today for episode number 6 and to talk about her BNI experience as we give you some insights into how it has helped Kaitlyn's business grow. Welcome, Kaitlyn, to the podcast.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. This is exciting. A new Sunshine Coast BNI podcast. This is great.
Yeah. Well, episode number 6. Each one's been a little different, so you never know. One might become famous, and we can all retire.
Oh, God, no, it may not be this one, but we'll see how we go.
Or start a public speaking tour, one of the two. So, Kaitlyn, tell us about All Coast Tire and Mechanical, the products and your services, and what makes you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, so All Coast Tire Solutions. We've got 4 stores across the Sunshine Coast. We've got 2 Dunlop Super Dealers and 2 Goodyear Auto Cares. So Goodyear Auto Cares, Maroochydore, that does tire and mechanical, and then we've also got the Nambour Goodyear Auto Care that just does tires. We also look after the commercial space in the sense of tyres too, with 2 Dunlop Super Dealers, one at Gympie, and also our HR, the OG store being Yandina, where we have been for 28 years, celebrating this year. All things tyres, from car, mower, caravan, 4-wheel drive, truck, tractor, earth mover, replacements, repairs, advice. We are a one-stop shop when it comes to tyres. So that's great. Family owned and operated too. So.
Oh, that's awesome! And you have a pretty big mobile service too, don't you? On site, I've seen your trucks around, so
yeah,
you see that you get around on site and with big machinery too, right?
We do, yeah. So part of our commercial service, and one of our mission statements is also to help reduce customer fleet downtime. So with that, we've got 7 commercial service trucks that service the entire Sunshine Coast, from north of Gympie right up to South Brisbane. We've been a bit further as well for some long-term customers. But these trucks go on and off site, roadside breakdowns, which you may see frequently. Our trucks stand out quite well. But yeah, we service the whole Sunshine Coast when it comes to tyre repairs, tyre replacements, and breakdowns. And then we saw a need in the market for a mobile tyre service for vehicles that we drive, so our 4-wheel drives and passenger vehicles. So back in 2021, we built a mobile tyre van as well.
Oh, excellent. So all bases are covered.
Yes.
So you mentioned family business, which leads me into my second question. You've had family in BNI. So, the question is, tell us about your journey and how you got to join BNI and what led you to get there. But I believe it's been a bit of a legacy.
Yeah, funny enough. Family business. All Coast Tire Solutions was started by John and Pete O'Leary, and John is dad, essentially, and Uncle Pete. But Dad, John, has always he's had a business coaching background, and he obviously saw some huge value in business networking. And he helped start a chapter on the Sunshine Coast maybe about 15 years ago. And he built a chapter that was around for quite a while. And I joined the family business 7.5 years ago. And we were approached by someone that we still had really good connections with inside BNI. John stepped aside from BNI to pursue other things. And out of that networking space for about 3 years, I've come along and was just invited to come along to one of the meetings, which I was no stranger to, because when John was part of the BNI chapter, just over in Coolum, I actually subbed for him from time to time. So I built connections myself with the people that he networked weekly with. And from there, they invited me along as to a mechanical seat. And I did one meeting. It was a no-brainer. I enjoyed it. I wanted more personal development. John and Pete thought it was a really great idea. not just for personal development, but to continue building the relationships and connections that we had built and build some more. And then from there, it sort of just developed naturally into referrals as what BNI is about, is connections, which comes with business growth.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. So you sort of you were led into it early and got some legacy there. So that's fantastic. So you know, so getting on to what you said there about your network and everything. You've obviously gained some skills through BNI and used BNI to enhance your networking and to gain referrals for your business. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Yeah, I suppose it comes down to why people join a networking chapter, and some of the education pieces that we hear about in business to business networking is your classic VCP, your visibility, your credibility, and your profitability. So the visibility is being present, finding a network that suits you and suits your values, and being present, turning up to your meetings, connecting, being involved as well in a leadership capacity to some degree, enjoying the meetings and being present, and then your credibility. So again, taking on a leadership role, building more connections by one, attending your meetings and networking before and after, but also connecting with what we call in BNI our one-to-one. So catching up with other members for a bit of a sit down about each other's businesses, and you start developing some more of a connection and relationship. From there, connections, relationships, you build trust and friendship, which inevitably in business, that's where referrals start flowing. They start trusting you, asking you for advice. You're educating. They're seeing your passion. They're going, oh, I know a Thai girl on the Sunshine Coast. I know someone that can help there. And that friendship and connections then has turned into that profitability just by showing up, being present, and networking.
Yeah, look, you've hit it right on the head there, and really great words for anyone listening. Like that's where you have to be in the BNI space, and then it all comes back to you. So given your take on it and how proactive you are with it, you'd have to have a BNI success story there. You can share with us.
Yeah, long-term connections is certainly something with being in BNI or around BNI for 10 plus years, not just being a member myself, but the connections that I have made, that they may not be a part of BNI, or they may have now retired or moved on, but we still have those connections. We still see them come into one of our stores across the Sunshine Coast, or they'll ring us personally, either John or myself, to say, hey, but also ask for some advice or an opinion, or looking to see what they should do with their vehicle. So just building those long-term connections and relationships. Even still, the connections that I've built over the last 7 years, I've made some really, really great friends inside, just from networking, from the chapters that I've been a part of, and the chapter that I was actually a part of creating back about 3 years ago now, being BNI's CBD Sunshine Coast. I've made some really great friendships through there that now it's catching up, a 5-minute phone call about something to do with a new member application or a membership committee question. It's just something so simple that it should just be a 5-minute conversation. It's not usually a 5 minutes conversation. It usually gets recorded as a one-to-one, because it's an hour and 10 minutes later, just because you're catching up, you're debriefing about what's happened in business. You start to find each other's passions, and this has happened, and learn more about each other. So I would say one of the success stories is not so much a story, but one of the successes from BNI is the connections that have been built. And then from there, the support that comes through for business. If you have a question, a business orientated question that someone else has been through, or you're just having a chat about something that is happening in day-to-day life, or a chat about what's happening in business, you sort of start to hear other people's perspectives, and it gives you a new one. But again, with the support, it's not just support inside business and inside BNI. It's support in personal life too. You know, they go, "How you going? How's mum? How's dad? How was your holiday?" It becomes a real friendship. I think that's one of my successes from BNI is the connections and friendships that have been built.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yes, it is about business and referrals and networking doing that, but I mean, even from my own chapter point of view, I mean, the support network's good, and sometimes, I mean, business isn't all roses or overseas trips to watch the NRL. I mean, it has its challenges, right? And you need that
Yeah.
support, and it's good to know that once a week you go there and you see that, you see that group of people, and you know that they're there and you got your back, and you can ask questions and solve problems. So I think it's a really important bit that people have to realize as well. So
Yeah, and
given that, sorry, keep going.
I was just going to say, it's just refreshing. You know, you've got support inside your own businesses and the support at home. But it's just good to have support in another space, in a space outside of work and outside of the home environment. It's or outside of your usual friendship groups or your social networks. It's just good to have a support that, there are other business people out there that we're all like-minded people, that they're going through similar things. So why not discuss them more? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You're right, especially Tommy. We were talking off air, about the challenges of staffing over the period, right? So anyone in a business is going to have, that problem. So it's good to have that network. Yeah. Well, look, let's talk about the growth of your business over the years. And I know you've made reference there to your network and how you built that up. But talk to us a bit about how BNI has played a role in developing your business, and also maybe include some plans there in the future, how you intend to use BNI to keep that journey going.
Yeah, so from the support that I've discussed, and I've mentioned connecting with other like-minded people and the services that everyone offers inside the chapter or outside your own chapter and other chapters too. The way we've seen success from BNI is, I suppose, hearing and learning and being educated more about other services are out there that can really help our business and how they can help our business. And from learning from all these individuals that we're crossing paths with each week and connecting with, we are learning more about, website development, the best way to go about SEO, or people might have opinions or help educate you on different ways that you can look at your SEO, or look at doing a website rebuild to obviously increase our visibility. But as well as that is HR support. We don't have that a role inside the business that does HR, so we outsource that, and we found someone inside BNI that does do HR and specializes in really, really well. And we've outsourced our HR to give us that support. Just check in with them, make sure we're doing the right things. So I suppose that's how BNI has really helped our business grow, because where we don't know where to go or what we think might be the way to go, we like to consult and search support and educate ourselves. And what a better way to do that and educate yourself is by educating yourself with people that you trust and people that not just as simple as a Google search. Human resources near me, it's someone that's over time or website designer near me. It's people who you've been educated by over a long period of time through being at the meetings, connecting with them, and then you go, they've got some really great concepts, really great ideas. I need to connect with them more. This is how they can help me. So that's how we have seen our growth, is by people in other services and with other skills supporting us.
Yeah. Look, and again, we were just having that conversation, and the HR topic we were talking about. You grew into that relationship to use that person out of BNI. You'd known them for 12, 18 months, however long it was. but you grew into that. So, you know, what I mean, looking into the future for any business, there's always opportunities that as your business grows and needs different aspects, you're already surrounded by the people that can solve those problems. And you've known that woman for 18 months, but now it's time to
Yeah,
call on her to help you out.
that's right. It's
Yeah.
it's not B&I isn't about what services you're needing right now. At that time when I've met people who do, the different services and skills that people have inside B&I, may not need them right now. They're not at my forefront. But as time goes on and you connect with them more, they're in my front of mind as soon as a HR concern comes up, or we're needing support in that space, or we're looking to revamp our website, or we're looking at reevaluating our SEO, or whatever service that comes up. Because of BNI and the education that I've received and the connections that I've made over, the last 7 years or the last 4 years or 18 months, and getting to know these different like-minded people inside BNI, the connections and the business and the referrals all come from that connection.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yep. Oh, very good. Now, here's your chance to give some advice. So, given your journey to date in BNI, what advice would you like to give members to make the most out of their journey as they seek a good business network and try and generate those relationships and referrals?
Um, would be I've really harped on about friendships and connections. It is absolute gold. It's not a fast burn, it's a slow burn, like
Yep.
any good relationship. My advice to someone who's looking at joining, or might be on the fence to see if networking is for them, or this style of networking is for them, it's come at it in a mindset that you're just here to build connections and educate yourself and share your passion about, why you're in business, and what makes you tick in business. I suppose my advice would be those who do to those who members already is show up, be present,
Yep.
take on a leadership role to build your credibility. It helps you network better, because you constantly educate yourself. You're being educated by your
Yep.
peers. And it's like you take on any leadership role, whether it's taking on a leadership role inside a sporting club, whether taking on a leadership role inside your business, or taking a step up, whatever it might be, is whether it's, we have visitor hosts inside BNI. They're the first people that introduce
Yep.
new visitors to the room. You're the first person to make an impression. That's a great opportunity. That's great visibility for yourself, great personal development for yourself. So I suppose my advice inside BNI is that if you get in there, and while you're there, is that be present, turn up to those meetings if you're not on holidays, but turn up to those meetings and be present, and put it all in, turn up and network early. Stay behind for 10, 15 or half an hour and have a yarn, catch up for a coffee with someone from your chapter or a visitor in the room, and really connect and be present there as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%, 100%. Yeah, you've got to be involved and making those connections. Visitor host is a great way to do it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're quite right. So, look, what's next for your business? There's got to be some exciting projects on the horizon.
Oh, look, there's always exciting projects if you ask John and Pete. They're always working on something. At the moment, it's about we're doing a little bit of a check on our fleets, our truck fleet, to best optimize those. We're about reducing our customer fleet downtime, and making sure that we have the right tools and equipment to allow for that. So having trucks ready to go, having the right tools for that job, so we're not having to take longer on the job. Having the right tools and equipment for our team, so they're not doing I don't know if anyone's seen a tire being fitted or a truck tire being fitted, but they used to do it by hand. We want to try and reduce that by, we've got 2 trucks that have actual fitting machines in the truck, so they're not doing it by hand. It's less labor intensive for them. So at the moment, we're just doing a bit of a check about our fleet and how we can better improve that. But the one thing we are working on at the moment, and again, we're educating ourselves by talking to others that we network with, is that how we can be better in business with the younger generation of employment coming through, or workers coming through. So that for us at the moment is something we're putting a bit of a focus on, in how we can help build team culture. Just finding the right pathway to help the younger generation coming through and finding their career, or finding what they would like to do, and setting up some pathways and some opportunities for them.
Yeah, I tell you what, 100% right idea there. It's a challenge that a lot of people would be facing, and you guys being more manual, well, like labor orientated. You know, I mean, it's out there in the heat of the day.
Yes.
So yeah, but that's fantastic. I'm so encouraged to hear that. That's a really good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Look, hey, we're going to get one last piece of overarching wisdom off you.
Oh no.
There's been lots to take out of it, and I was always looking forward to you doing this podcast with you, because I know how much you buzz about BNI. But look, even if they're not a local entrepreneur, they're not in BNI. What's Kaitlyn's last bit of wisdom?
Oh, my last bit of wisdom. Surround yourself with people that support you, I suppose. And that's easy for me to say, being inside a family business, is that I see so much value in that. In hindsight, I probably don't know much difference. But yeah, just having the support of the people around you, and the people who have been with us long term inside business, it's we wouldn't have seen this growth that we've had over the last 28 years, from 1 store to 2 stores to 4 stores in a shorter period of time, without the support of each other and the support of the people we have inside our business and externally as well. So it's really about making sure you know who your support is, and lean on them and talk to them. That's, I think, something I would take from being inside a family-owned and operated business, is that support is everything. You can't do it on your own. No one should do it on their own, and it's a team effort.
Yeah, you don't want to be there by yourself. Oh, well, look, thanks very much for that. Now, how can our listeners get in touch with you? Have you give us your website, phone numbers, socials?
Yeah. So we've got all the socials, but our website is allcoasttires.com.au. We have our Facebook pages as well, which is All Coast Tire Solutions, is our Instagram and our Facebook page. Otherwise, those BNI members, I'm in BNI Connect. You'll find me there, Kaitlyn O'Leary, and we're under the Goodyear Auto Care at the Maroochydore store. So that's how you'd best find me. Otherwise, our website's a really good way to try and reach out, to connect, and chat to us online as well. We have that awesome feature, our email option, or give us a holler.
Give us a call. Oh, well, Kaitlyn, it's been a pleasure. As I said, I've looked forward to doing this podcast with you, because I know how passionate you are about BNI and your own business. It's been fantastic. I'm sure people are listening to this all over the globe.
Oh boy.
Maybe. I'm sure people will get a lot out of it. And look, thanks very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure having you along, and I'll see you on the coast soon.